Hello everyone. In single phase rectifier section, we have left some topics: single phase full converter with charging battery and RLE load, and semi converter section, and then harmonic analysis of single phase full converter and semi converter. This will continue from here. This is the charging battery case. In this, we assume that load have resistance and a battery with voltage E. So, if we have the voltage at the load side, so to turn on the thyristor, the source voltage should be greater than the load side battery. This is the must condition to forward bias the thyristors. So, for positive cycle plus Vs greater than E, to forward bias T1 T2, and for negative cycle minus Vs is greater than E for T3 T4 forward biasing. Forward biasing doesn't mean that T1 T2 are turned off. T1 T2 will be turning off only when gate pulse is provided. So here from alpha to theta 2 T1 T2 are turning off, and then no thyristor is turning on. So when there is no switch is conducting, in that period V output equal to load voltage, that is constant E, and when V output equal to plus Vs when T1 T2 are forward bias and conducting, and V output equal to minus Vs when T3 T4 are forward bias and conducting. So this is the waveform and circuit diagram. I naught equal to Vs minus E by R, where Vs is Vm sin omega t. Angle theta 1 can be determined by sine inverse of E by Vm, where Vm is the maximum voltage of sinusoidal voltage. Theta 2 equal to pi minus theta 1. Alpha should be within the limit theta 1 and theta 2. V output, average output voltage, can be determined by taking 1 upon time period. Time period is pi radian here, because two cycles are existing in a complete sinusoidal cycle. Integrate from alpha to theta 2 when V output equal to Vs, and then integrate theta 2 to pi plus alpha. In that time period, V output equal to capital E. We get the output voltage where this term is in radians. I output average value can be determined by using this formula: 1 by pi integrate from alpha to theta 2, because current exists only this period from alpha to theta 2. Alpha to theta 2, and instantaneous value is Vs minus E by R. Integrate this, we get I output average value. Next one is single phase full converter DC motor with RLE load. RLE load means resistance, inductance, and a back EMF source existing in DC motor. It is divided into two parts for beta less than pi and beta greater than pi. In first case, beta less than pi, there is possibility of output voltage less than back EMF E when inductance is discharging its energy to source and resistance. So, but there is no voltage, negative spikes are available in the case 1 when beta is less than pi. But for beta greater than pi, there are possibility of negative spikes due to discharging of inductance energy. We can see from here that when T1 T2 are conducting, output voltage is like this, and when it is V output equal to Vs, and when V output is greater than E, then the current is charging and it is rising, and when it is at this point V output is less than E, then current start discharging and it will decay to 0. When current is equal to 0, then V output equal to constant magnitude E. This process will continue, and in the second case, the second process where beta is greater than pi, it will negative spikes is observed in this case, and current is discharging from the point where V output is less than EB. To find the circuit turn-off time, see where T1 T2 is switched off. This is switched off at beta, and after this up to where T1 T2 will be reverse biased from beta to 2 pi plus theta 1. From beta to 2 pi plus theta 1 is the time zone where thyristor T1 T2 are reverse biased. So the circuit turn-off time is from 2 pi plus theta 1 to beta. Tc is 2 pi plus theta 1 minus beta by omega. Average output voltage, similarly as in previous case, 1 by pi integrate alpha to beta, where V output is Vs, and from beta to pi plus alpha, where V output is Eb. In RE load, we have integrate from alpha to theta 2 and theta 2 to pi plus alpha, but here due to inductance, thyristor T1 T2 will be conducting from alpha to beta, and it will not stop at theta 2. So integrate from alpha to beta, and then beta to pi plus alpha there is constant magnitude of EB. So integrate from beta to pi plus alpha with magnitude EB. This is the term here which is referred in radians. In the third case, if the beta is greater than pi plus alpha, then what will happen? There is a continuous conduction. So no effect of back EMF in output voltage waveform. So it will remain same for RL, RLE load, and we get the constant current magnitude and the voltage without any time period, where V output is equal to back EMF E. So no effect of back EMF is present. This is the source current magnitude, this is the output voltage. Load current is assumed constant due to high inductance. Average output voltage for continuous conduction is same as RL load. It is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha, and source current RMS equal to load current. Harmonic analysis of AC side of converter is analyzed by using the Fourier series of the supply current waveform. This is the supply current waveform. We will take the Fourier series. As this is a square wave, so the Fourier series will be like this: summation 4 I naught by n pi sin n omega d plus phi n, where phi n equal to minus n alpha and phi 1 equal to minus alpha when putting n equal to 1. Here n equal to 1, 3 and 5 are taken, so even harmonics are neglected. Nth harmonic magnitude is this, and this is the nth harmonic RMS magnitude by dividing the root 2 of this magnitude. Fundamental magnitude can be determined by putting n equal to 1. Fundamental distortion factor cos of phi 1 and phi 1 equal to alpha 1. Distortion factor is IS1 by ISR. IS1 is the fundamental source magnitude. This is 2 root 2 by pi I naught, and ISR is equal to I naught, as it is we have observed there. G equal to 2 root 2 by pi we obtained, and putting this value in power factor, PF equal to G into FDF. So 2 root 2 by pi into cos of alpha. FDF is fundamental distortion factor. So Putting the value of G, you can get the total harmonic distortion. G is 2 root 2 by pi, so total harmonic distortion obtained as 48.34. Active power or useful power as at AC side is fundamental power. So VSR IS1 cos of alpha. Vs RMS is Vm by root 2. Is fundamental is 2 root 2 by pi into I naught, and fundamental distortion factor FDF is cos of alpha. So putting the value, we get 2 Vm by pi I naught cos alpha, and 2 Vm by pi cos alpha is equal to average output magnitude of voltage. So P input active useful power is equal to active output power. P output is V naught I naught. Fundamental or useful reactive power at source side is VSR IS1 sin alpha, and by multiply and dividing cos alpha we get Q equal to P into tan alpha, where P is V naught I naught. Next one is harmonic analysis on DC side of converter. At the DC side, or means output side of the rectifier, we can calculate the harmonics by using form factor and voltage regulation factor. So FF is VOR by V average output, RMS by average. It is form factor, and we get the form factor by using RMS and average. What is RMS value? Vm by root 2, and average value is 2 Vm by pi cos alpha. It is the average and RMS value at output side. By putting this value, we get the form factor, and form factor is putting in voltage ripple factor VRF under root of form factor square minus 1. This is the voltage ripple factor. Next one is single phase semi-converter with RLE load or a DC motor. Here, this is the symmetrical configuration of semi-converter with freewheeling diode. Semi-converter, as we know that it is used to get the freewheeling period. So, and freewheeling period obtained after pi. So if the beta is less than pi, there is no freewheeling period conducting for inductive load also, and for resistive load there is no freewheeling period required. So the output voltage waveform is and equation are similar to the full wave rectifier in semiconductor case also for beta less than pi. In the next case, beta greater than pi, there is a freewheeling period observed, so there is no negative spike of voltage appear here, and V output will be increased because the negative spikes are removed. This is the advantage of semi-converter. And semi-converter is a first one quadrant operation performed, and in full converter there are two quadrant operation are performed because voltage may be positive and negative, but it is a rectifier, so average output always will become positive. So here average output voltage can be derived by using like this: 1 by time period is pi, integrate from alpha to pi, because V output is equal to Vs only from alpha to pi, and then beta to pi plus alpha, V output is equal to EB. As we can see in this diagram, this is a short diagram for a one cycle of output side or half cycle of input. Here the T1 T2 is conducting from alpha, and it is conducted from alpha to pi, where T1 and D2 are conducting. After that there is a freewheeling period, and when freewheeling period is completed, the voltage equal to EB appear at load side. So in this period from pi to beta, the freewheeling period voltage output equal to 0. As we can see, In full wave rectifier, we have integrate these two terms, and here the upper limit was beta. From alpha to beta it is V output equal to Vs, and from beta to pi plus alpha it is equal to Eb. But here the upper limit is pi, and from pi to beta there is a freewheeling period we observed. So the V output equal to 1 by pi Vm1 plus cos alpha plus Eb pi plus alpha minus beta. This is in radians. As in single phase full converter also, I have told for continuous conduction beta greater than pi plus alpha, there is no effect of back EMF in the output voltage waveform. So it will remain same for RL and RLA load. This is the output voltage waveform. There are only two modes when T1 T2 T1 D2 and T3 D4 are conducting, and in the middle there is a freewheeling period we observed. This is the source current magnitude, source current waveform. V output equal to Vm by pi 1 plus cos alpha here, no effect of back EMF, and source current RMS is I output pi minus alpha divided by pi power 1 by 2, because in a half cycle it is conducting for pi minus alpha and the total time period is pi. Next one is harmonic analysis on AC side of converter. For AC side we take the harmonic analysis of Fourier series for the supply current IS. Here 4 I naught by n pi cos n alpha by 2 term is newly added, and all other terms are remain same. Phi n is minus n alpha by 2. Here alpha by 2 is observed, and phi 1 is minus alpha by 2 by putting n equal to 1. Nth harmonic is like this. The magnitude of nth harmonic 2 root 2 by n pi I naught cos n alpha by 2. And similarly the fundamental source current magnitude is 2 root 2 by pi I naught cos alpha by 2. Fundamental distortion factor cos phi 1, where phi 1 is minus alpha by 2. So cos of minus alpha by 2 is cos plus alpha by 2. Distortion factor IS1 by ISR. IS1 is, this is the IS1 magnitude, fundamental source magnitude, and source current RMS is I naught pi minus alpha by pi power 1 by 2. This is the distortion factor we obtain. We can put this value into multiplication with fundamental distortion factor. This is the power factor we obtain, and if the distortion factor is added in total harmonic distortion formula, we get the total harmonic distortion like this. Active power at source side VSR IS1 cos alpha by 2. Cos alpha by 2 is fundamental distortion factor. Vs RMS is Vm by root 2 at source side, and fundamental, this is fundamental magnitude of source current, this is cos alpha by 2. So by using the trigonometric formula we get the active power equal to Vm by pi 1 plus cos alpha into I naught, where Vm by pi 1 plus cos alpha is the active power or output average voltage, so it is equal to V naught. So active power equal to V naught I naught. So input active power equal to output active power. Reactive power is equal to VSR IS1 sin alpha by 2 at the AC side, and it is also written as P10 alpha by 2. This is all about the harmonic analysis of single phase full wave rectifier and half wave rectifier. In the next class we will continue 3 phase rectifiers.